Saraswati Vyasam Tanode Krishna Nityam Bhagavate Uttamaskoke Bhakte Bhagavadivasana Bhagavim Nami Bhatam Shri Gurun Paramananda Madhava Shri Chaitanya Ishvara Hari Om Tat Sat. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Gopakumaraya Govindaya. Reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 2, sloka, verse number 1. Sanjaya Vacha. Sanjaya Vacha. Tam tata krupaya visitam krupaya vistam ashrupurna pulekshya visidantam idam vakyam uvacha madhusudanaha. Sanjaya uvacha tam tata krupaya vistam ashrupurna pulekshya visidantam idam vakyam Vacha Madhusudana Uvacha. Sanjaya Vacha. Sanjaya said, Tam unto Arjuna, Tata thus, Krupaya by compassion, please come overwhelmed. Ashrupurna Kula, full of tears, Ikshana, eyes, Visidantam, lamenting, Idam, these Vakyam words. Uvacha said, Madhusudana, declare of Madhu. Sanjaya said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana, Krishna spoke the following words. Translation purport by Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Material compassion, lamentation and tears are all signs of ignorance of the real self. Compassion for the eternal soul is self-realization. The word Madhusudana is significant for this verse. Lord Krishna killed the demon Madhu, and now Arjuna wanted Krishna to kill the demon of misunderstanding that had overtaken him in the discharge of his duty. No one knows where compassion should be applied. Compassion for the dress of drowning man is senseless. A man fallen in the ocean of missiles cannot be saved simply by rescuing his outward dress, the gross material. One who does not know this and laments for the outward dress is called a Sudra, or one who laments unnecessarily. Arjuna was a Kshatriya and his conduct was not expected from him. Lord Krishna, however, can dissipate the lamentation of the ignorant men for this purpose of the Bhagavad Gita person by him. This chapter instructs us in self-realization by analytical study of the real body and the spirit soul as explained in the Supreme Madhuri, Lord Krishna. This realization is possible when one works without attachment to fruity pleasures and is exerted in the fixed conception of the real self. So the name of the chapter is Contents of the Gita summarized. So this is the saramsha of the essence of the whole Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says to Arjuna that one should not show compassion towards the person who is fully engrossed in the fruitive activities. Rather, one should show compassion to the souls, one who is inquisitive, one who is very observative, one who is always hankering to render activities which are heading towards self-realization. Because one should know the intricacies of a soul, whether a soul is engaged in outer grossly activities, or one who is always one who is always hankering about the steps towards self-realization. So one should know where to apply and when to apply and how to apply this compassion because Arjuna is lamenting towards his relatives, friends, and his supporters, and his in-laws, cousins, because all are what can I say? All are rendering adharmic activities. It is no way helpful to society. So one cannot access towards self-realization if one shows compassion towards these elements, these bad elements. That means refers to the Kuru dynasty. I mean the Kauravas team. So Arjuna is showing so much compassion towards them, and his mind is depressed. And his eyes is full of tears. And here one bird addressing Krishna as Madhusudana is very significant, because Madhusudana means one Krishna has killed the asura called, the demon called Madhu. That is why it's called Madhusudana. So Krishna also wants to kill demon-like activities in the mind of Arjuna, because he is showing compassion towards the bad elements who are adharmic, who has done so much nonsensical things which are against Dharma Sutras, which are against scriptures, which are against the activities which are not recommended in Vedic injunctions. So that is why Krishna is because of this lamentation and material compassion, one should not show material compassion towards the souls. One should show always spiritual compassion, because material compassion always heading towards the hellish planet, heading towards the soul to again recycle in this birth and death. So one should help the soul. If a drowning man is unable to survive in that ocean, one should not take out his external dress. One should try to help the soul inside, the jiva inside, not the external soul. If a man is drowning in the ocean, if you just catch the external dress of that soul, you cannot help him, you cannot save him. He will lose his life. So one should catch his hairs, or one should catch the person, one should catch the jiva and rescue him and make him escape from the river bank, from in the banks of the rivers. So then only he can be saved, and then only he can be given a life to him. Just if you catch the external dress of the soul, then you will only get the soul's external dress. You will not get the soul back to the banks of the ocean. So that's why Krishna is Prabhupada is quoting the illustrations of a drowning man. A man fallen in the ocean of nescience cannot be saved simply by rescuing his outward dress. So one who does not know this laments for the outward dress is called a Sudra, or one who laments unnecessarily. So Arjuna was a Kshatriya. He should know what is his duties, what are the duties of a Kshatriya, what are the characteristics of the Kshatriya. So a Kshatriya should not lament when he is about to fight with others, fight with enemies. That too, it is advised and recommended by the Lord Supreme Personality of God himself, Krishna. So, however, one should discriminate which is so what sort of a compassion we should show. So a very nice example or illustrations are given in so many occasions. So there was once elevator in a the famous city of New York. So the owner of that, the tenants of that particular mall or particular the complex, they are complaining to the owner saying that the lift has become very old, and you need to change the lift, you need to change the escalators. It's become very old. We cannot just utilize this or use this elevator furthermore. Rather you can change it, or rather you can install a new one. So the clever man, owner of this particular escalator or a particular complex, called the intelligent engineer. So the engineer gave a quotation saying that if you want to change, entire structure should be changed, or it requires a lot of expenditure. So then the owner asked the engineer, what is the other way round? So which saves my money and which will not lead to the huge amount of expenditure. Then the engineer told him, see, your tenants are just they are only external consciousness. So just to convince them, you put a lot of mirrors on top. One mirror, right side, left side, back side, everything you put mirror. Immediately they will get they will become convincing, and they will not give you any sort of complaints furthermore. So the owner brought a new carpenter, and he installed all the beautiful and marvelous mirrors. So the tenants started using escalators, and they were captivated by the mirrors. So, and further they never went and approached the owner to complain regarding these escalators. So everyone started combing the hair, and another man started dressing properly by seeing the reflection of the mirror. So people were so much attached to the external consciousness. So I mean to say here that one should be always cautious or careful about internal consciousness, not the outward dress. Outward dress no way will help us for promoting from the Sudra consciousness, Sudra Varna to the Brahmana Varna, or from the modes, lower modes to the higher modes. So from this example we can understand that one should not have an external consciousness. One should always have the consciousness of internals. So how best we are using our internals, how best we are using the soul to engage in or to get a higher promotion from the lower platform to the higher platform, or to the exalted form, that is the form of in the form of self-realization. So one should be self-realized. So if one is not self-realized, he cannot understand what is this material world, what is this spiritual world, and what is this God consciousness, why we have to serve God, why we have to surrender God, and what is the need to serve God, what is the need to know about God. So all these things will not come when you are not self-realized, because self-realized person is always consciousness of the God consciousness, and about leaving this material world, and wants to get a higher promotion or the most elevated promotion of Vaikuntha Loka or the Goloka Vrindavan. So here Krishna is pointing out that Arjuna is too much of material consciousness and too much compassion to the persons who are heading towards fruitive activities. are heading towards fruity results and is situated in the fixed conception of real self. So this self-realization is possible only when one works without attachment to the fruity activities. Fruity activities means for the satisfaction of my own external body, sense gratification it is called. So this. So one more illustration also you can understand where once there was a king who brought a golden cage